intimidated or worried that about the idea that you're going to be voicing this iconic cartoon character and worried that your voice might not match the original one?
Well, it was very important for me that it did, and I was the apprentice to the original voice. And I didn't know that he was apprenticing me for a long time. I think it was making sure that I could do it and was up to it. So it was kind of a 3-year process where he would come into my room where I was animating and he'd say, well, if Donald were in this situation, what would he say? Or say this, or try saying that, or Mickey said this, how would he react? And I thought, he must be bored. It was fun for me, you know, because it was the real Donald Duck that had started with Walt Disney. And I think after a while, he kind of figured I could do it, and then he started to spend a little bit more time with me. So it's really important for me because he handed me that legacy to carry on that legacy of not only Clarence Nash but Walt Disney, and to keep it the same. So when I go to recording sessions, I will put in a CD of Clarence doing lines, and just to make sure that my pitch is there and that I don't stray from that. So it isn't, I wouldn't say it was intimidating, but it's important, and it's something that I'm very protective of, and I know Bill is too. And Wayne, who was Mickey Mouse for 40 years, he apprenticed with Jimmy McDonald, who was the second Mickey after Walt, who was the first Mickey, and then Billy and Russi, who was married to Wayne, who most people don't know that Mickey and Minnie were married. And we've all been working for 30 years together.
I remember someone asked Wayne and Russi at a radio remote, they say, well, Mickey and Minnie, are you living in sin? And Wayne said, no, we're living in Toontown. It was really quick and fun to work with. No, you can't think about being intimidated because it would affect your performance. You just have to have fun with it and do the best job you can. I didn't know if I was going to be that close of that voice match for Pinto. I guess just the throat is that sound that they wanted, and I think more importantly the personality, because we are like our characters, and I'm getting klutzier every day. So I'm definitely becoming goofy over the years.
And because we hang out together and we are like our character, I'm a little impatient like Donald, and Goofy's a little
klutzy.
I did a painting for him on his pool wall of Goofy holding a martini and Ed's barbecue in exchange for Bill coming over to my house and spraying for ants. Because he had an ant sprayer and all this stuff. And he came over and he had the container and he said, well, I just got to put some water in here, so I'll put the holes in and, okay, turn it on. Wow!
So it was art imitating life. Yeah, and he still has ants, probably.
Thank you very much.
Hey guys.
Hi.
So just want to say thank you so much for making our childhoods super awesome. So this question is for Bill. I have to ask, it's about the Goofy movie. What is your favorite Powerline song?
What about the Powerline song?
What's your favorite? Which one's your favorite?
Oh, which was my favorite of the songs? Well, interesting on that. I don't know if you've seen on YouTube, a couple of months ago at the D23 convention in Anaheim, we had a Goofy movie reunion. And we got all of the cast members, we got Tevin Campbell who sang the Powerline song. And I had never met him when we did the movie. I didn't meet him until about 30 minutes before we went on stage at that performance. And it was a big hall, about 1,200 people in there, and Tevin Campbell, we got him to sing the Eye to Eye song. And Jason Marsden, who played Max in the movie, did not sing Max's songs. It was a guy named Aaron Lohr, fine singer, and the first thing we did in the movie were the songs. And I sang the Open Road song and Nobody Else But You song. And I always felt bad that Jason didn't get to sing that because he can sing. And so we decided to do a live performance with Jason singing and me singing that song live. And the response from the crowd was incredible. We got like a 3-minute standing ovation. It's like being the Beatles, you know, coming out of the stage, that people love that movie so much. And I was so gratified that before we went in, there was some Disney blog that said the top 10 panels that you've got to see at D23, and ours wasn't even on the top 10. But afterwards, there was a audience satisfaction thing. We got a 100%, and we beat out the Star Wars panel, and they had Harrison Ford and George Lucas, and I'm really happy. The song "Nobody Else But You" is probably my favorite because that's sweet. And my son was about 5 years old in '95 when the movie came out, and so it was a kind of bonding picture with me, and it screwed him up for years because people would say, "Is Max your brother?" And I didn't know I had a brother. He didn't know if he was Goofy's son, my son, Max's brother, who he was, and it really messed him up.
Sorry, can you say the perfect cast? How Goofy said it?
Gosh, if I could remember what it was, I could probably, you could quote it a lot better than I could. It was like 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Tours a day. I'm a little teapot. Wind her up and let her fly. That was 20 years ago. I can't remember where my wallet is, much less that. Next question.
I'd like to hear you two give a conversation to each other doing your two favorite voices.
Okay. Two favorite voices? Well, I'd probably be...
Well, the favorite voice for me is not going to be Donald Duck. It's my favorite voice. We can have a little conversation. You can be whoever you want to, and we can talk like
Who should I be? I'll be Pluto, you know.
Yeah. Quiet. We're trying to do a little scan on here. Pluto, shut up. Why don't you be quiet? All right, down, boy. That's right. That's a good boy. Let's see if maybe we can bring another character out here.
Hey, Donald, dinner's ready. We're having duck. I guess that's it, you know. We were talking earlier, and Tony works the hardest of all of us because it's tough to do that, you know. And I remember a long time ago, we were doing some Chevrolet commercials, and he had had a hernia.
What?
I've had 5 of them.
And that's pushed to kind of force the air through. And he was in, and Wayne Allwine, who did Mickey, he was doing a line, and he was like going, and we were laughing, unfortunately, and Wayne was saying, "Make him do it again." I don't know if you knew that.
Yes, I did. Bill probably has the most well-rounded stable of voices. Most of his great television voices, like you did Pat Bartram, but too George Burns and Johnny Carson.
George Burns, now that was a comedian from long ago that I used to be the voice. And Johnny Carson, I grew up watching him on The Tonight Show, and he would always do those, those Karnak things.
Right.
And the following answer, I have never seen the answer, and will divine the answer, having never seen the question. And the answer is Donald Duck. And the question, what do you say to a Disney character during a drive-by shooting?
What is the best and worst thing about working for Disney?
Oh. Are there cameras on?
That's a good question. There isn't one cell phone waiting for us to answer that question. Well, it's all heaven and...
No, it is. It is like a family, and I've worked for Warner Brothers and Sony and all the other ones in Hollywood on movies throughout the years. This group of characters is unique because, first of all, the Fab Five, as we call them, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and Pluto, and now the Sensational Six with Daisy, the addition of Daisy, that They're like family. There's no other way to say it. They're the oldest characters. Mickey was the first talking character. He's still around, and they're using him every day. They're using us all the time. There's no other characters like that, so they're doing something right, you know? And there's something about those characters, unlike anything else I've ever done. And the people that voiced them, Wayne, Brucey, were Mickey and Minnie. They really were.
They really were.
And we are like our characters, and it is like a family.
And we do hang out when we're not working.
Yeah, it's like, it is, you know, it's a family, and it's fun to go to work.
And the best stuff is the stuff that doesn't get in the show. I can't remember most of it, but especially Wayne, between Wayne and Bill, and we would pee our pants.
Oh yeah. I've told this story before, and it's like they used to record us together like a radio play. We'd be just like here doing lines back and forth. We don't do that anymore. It's easier for the editors to take, let's say I come in at 2 o'clock, I do all my lines. Tony comes in at 3, does his lines. They take the best of my lines, the best of his lines, put them together in editing. In the old days, we did like a radio play. We'd be in the room. And in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, we had an episode called Dr. Daisy. Yep. And in this episode, I had to say the following line. Gosh, Daisy, would you blow on my boo-boo?
To which Wayne started to riff.
Now, blow on my boo-boo? That ended it right there. I mean, everyone started laughing. It took me like 15 minutes to say that line without laughing. And from that time on, they separated us. But no, we just have a blast doing it. It is, and it's not like work at all. It's like going to your other family, really, is what it's like.
Any tips for young voice actors who are looking to make their mark? How do you get started affordably, and do you have any advice, basically?
Okay, I can speak to the voice thing, and Tony could probably think to the people usually ask about art, you know, and how to get going in that. I'll just mention in voiceover. First of all, it's very difficult because there's, in Los Angeles, there's roughly 150,000 Screen Actors Guild members, all of who want to do voiceover. And a lot of celebrities do voiceover. On any given week, I've heard the figure, maybe 10,000 acting jobs. That's everything. So, 10,000 jobs, 150,000 actors, and a lot of waiters out there. What you have to do is I always say, get rich parents first, and that helps. You gotta have a way to pay the bills while you're doing this, because it doesn't just happen overnight. I did 12 years of stand-up and radio and everything before I got my break. A lot of people just don't ever get a break, or they'll get one little series and it does, 6, 7 episodes and then nothing. It's very difficult. It's like getting out of high school in basketball and joining the NBA. You're playing against the best guys in the world. So at the best of things, it's very difficult. But there are ways to do it. First of all, take acting lessons. It is acting. A lot of people think, no, I don't want to act, I want to do voices. No, it's voice acting, not voice acting. That's the most important thing. It's what you bring that's unique to the table. Get a demo that represents what you do the best. Don't put Mickey and don't put Goofy on your demo, because that job's taken. Do something new and innovative, new voices that you can come up with. You got to get a good agent. You probably have to be in Los Angeles to... it's getting a little bit better now, but unless you're established, they really want you around there. So Disney calls me and we need you tomorrow afternoon. You can be there, and you can't say, "Well, I live in Canada." No, you got to be close by. Perseverance is probably the most important, and do it not for the fame and the glory and the money, but do it because there's nothing else you would rather do in the world. If you have that passion and love for it, yeah, that'll see you through. And I know there's a lot of artists out there, and I know that's an extremely tough business too, and Tony can talk on that.
Well, it's more to your point on the voice acting. As Bill said, it really isn't doing funny voices, because a lot of people will think, well, I can do Mickey Mouse, or I can talk in a falsetto, or I can do imitations of things that have already been done. But it's not about your vocal cords, and it's not about your diaphragm. It's about the performance that comes from, I say the character comes from your soul. So you have to understand, it's like Bill said, it's acting. So who is the character? How does he act in any situation? And it has to be real and believable, and it's really all about that. It's not about funny voices.
Also, could you do a Foghorn Leghorn?
Foghorn Leghorn, he's a big chicken. I say there, boy. That boy's about as sharp as a bowling ball. I got to meet Mel Blanc shortly before he passed away. I was doing some ADR on the movie Roger Rabbit, which is one of the first movies I did anything on out here. And he was, of course, probably to every voice actor, was kind of a god in the voice acting realm. And what a nice guy. And Tony got to work with him on Roger Rabbit, where the scene was with Donald and Daffy.
We did it together. Like Bill said, we don't really do that much anymore, but I had the honor of working with Mel Blanc, who'd been with Warner Brothers for I don't know how many years doing all those voices, but he did Daffy and I did Donald. And Robert Zemeckis was the director. And it was the last thing that Mel Blanc did that I know of. And he came in a wheelchair in oxygen. And it was kind of like, when they introduced us, and I said, it's an honor to work with you and meet you. And I thought, how's this going to work? And he told us what he wanted, the director told us what he wanted to do. And he said action, and he jumped out of that wheelchair and threw off the oxygen mask, went, succotash, and I was like, whoa, okay. And then when he was done,
Like Darth Vader.
we have a question over here.